I'm here with actor Griffin Powell-Arcand in lovely Brooklyn. We're on a balcony, so hopefully this holds. If not, it was good interviewing you.
Yeah, exactly.
So Griffin, let's talk a little bit about when you first decided you wanted to become an actor. I know you're relatively young still, but...
Yeah, I was 3, almost 4 years old, and my dad actually, he asked me if, like, I remember he kind of asked, and he also more or less was asking my mom, like, does he want to be an Dreamkeeper? They have an audition for him, my agent does, Daryl Mork, and then I just ended up starting there, and then you know, I guess you could say I wanted to be an actor twice, because I quit when I was like 11, 12, and then when I was about 19, 19, I did a short film called Intrepid Explorers, and that was kind of like, I want to act again.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my second goal.
Did you kind of want to just be a kid in those in-between years, and it kind of fell on the wayside a little?
I wanted to be a kid, and it definitely fell on the wayside. I had a crazy come up. I spent most of my teenage years rapping and whatnot. You know, really big into my science classes and all that. So, you know, from there, I just kind of eventually started steering down the wrong pathway. And, you know, I feel like acting kind of came as one of those things as part of cleaning up my act. I actually started working at a restaurant, seafood restaurant called the Black Pearl down in Edmonton. And, you know, that was like, that was my proof of I'm ready to change my life.
Yeah.
You know?
What led you down the rapping?
Basically just like my friends, like even part of my family, some of them rap as well. And like, I kind of was like, I did a drama class in grade 9, and me and a good friend of mine, Jesse, we didn't want to do a little skit. We were like, I don't want to do a skit. Let's make a rap for it.
Yeah.
It was too vulgar, and they cut us off halfway through. But
you and rap and 9-year-olds don't go together?
Yeah, grade 9. Grade 9. But still,
hey,
no, it was.
Was that something you wanted to pursue though seriously as a career, like you had with acting, or were you just kind of doing it as like a hobby?
It was a hobby. It's definitely been a hobby. I think acting will probably, depending on what happens, that's one of my main careers. Like, I have 3 things that I want to pursue, and that's acting, rapping, and I want to be a model as well. So yeah.
When did the modeling aspect jump in?
Probably about 3-4 months ago. I did my first show for Mobilized Streetwear with a Cree flair, and basically I fell in love with it right then. You know, I get to go hop on that runway, strut my stuff, you know, walk off, hop off stage like it never happened, go about my day, you know, it's a good feeling.
You could be honest, we started talking on Instagram then, and you probably saw some of my pictures, and you're like, if that guy can model, I think I can do it too. you can tell the truth. Go ahead. Let the audience know. No, that wasn't it.
I love like watching model. Like, I love watching the shows before, like runways and whatnot. So I kind of was like, I can do that. I like to look stylish, even if it is weird. You know, like I'll throw on the weirdest thing ever and walk out that like.
Do you feel like you're acting a part as a model?
Yeah, definitely. Like whatever I'm wearing, you know, kind of like play with it. Like I did one show for Luxe Ready to Wear, and they had me in these like this full black suit, but it had like what are they on the sides usually? They're I don't know what it was. It's almost like a flare. We're not designers. But they were like neon green, and like I had some other neon green gear on, and it was like a party outfit. And that's awesome. I kind of came out like I was at a party, like hey. And then another one, deer skin, like whole suit, and it was on my Instagram actually, that all white suit that I had on. Man, that one was really cool, but I came out like strong, you know. It all has their different acts behind them.
So now you went into the rapping, you changed course again, you went back to acting.
Yeah.
So you started taking it seriously. What were some of the steps that you took to actually realize your goal of being taken seriously as an actor?
I'd say a lot of, I wouldn't say self-change, but more or less self-awareness, I guess you could say, because, you know, there's people look at you based on how you move, how you walk, how you talk, right? And of course, I'm never not going to be myself, but at the same time, there's things about myself that aren't approved, you know what I mean, in the world of whatever, entertainment industry, right? So I just kind of work on those little bits, you know, work on myself as a human being, and then just continue on. Like,
how long before you dipped your toe back into acting did Chambers come up? Because you had a heavily recurring role on a show before that, right?
No, I did Moccasin Flats and like Mixed Blessings and whatnot.
Mixed Blessings, that's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, APTN. Yeah. That one was good. And I was about 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
Like that's when I quit. And
so that was your last gig.
That was my last gig.
So Netflix's Chambers was your first gig back
into
acting.
it. Like the Intrepid Explorers, the little short film, that was like kind of my first one. But then like when I actually was like, hey, to my agent, I wanna do this again. What are the steps? And he didn't think I was serious.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I also got the job at the seafood restaurant, because I wanted to show him like I'm serious to make my life right, you know. So
how long between getting that job did you get Netflix series?
4 months, 3 months, something like that.
I mean, you got to pat yourself on the back to get a series regular role on a brand new show like that.
It was insane, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, my face, like when I got it, I was like, nah. And then it was serious, and that's when I kind of realized, like, I think this is the beginning.
When you went in for the role, what were some of the things you were feeling? Was there a pressure to you because it was a show that could be close to your heart based on who you'd be playing?
Yeah, like
the background behind the character.
It was strange for me because like TJ he's a high school sweetheart, you know, and that was a part of me throughout high school. But you know, eventually it was just kind of like I felt pressure only because I had to present that sweetheart, you know what I mean? And he's only a part of me, he's not the whole me. I'm not always a sweetheart, no one can be, you know?
Absolutely not.
It was an interesting thing. Like my character though, I tried to put as much of me into him as possible, but obviously I had to act. Yeah, exactly.
They weren't casting Griffin for Griffin.
Yeah, they were casting Griffin for TJ.
Yeah.
You know?
So did you have to move to where you guys filmed?
Yeah, we were filming out in Albuquerque, New Mexico,
right.
And I lived there. Pretty much was in a hotel for like 3 months, and then I stayed in my own apartment for a good other portion of the time.
Was that the first time you had been out on your own for so long?
Yeah, like previously I had moved out of my mom's, like, you know, for a couple months, and then
didn't work out.
Didn't work out back at home.
Trust me, like, brother, I know.
Yeah,
back there now.
So yeah, no, exactly.
Way older than you.
And oh yeah, no, I don't expect it's the last time either. But anyways, yeah, that was the longest exodus from my mom's house. Yeah. And I even got to stay in Michigan for a couple months. I was filming The Wendigo, and yet to be released.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it. We'll talk about that after this.
Exactly.
So what was your experience like as a whole on the series? You were with with a pretty obviously young group of actors who were relatively new to a series regular role, and you know, it was a very eclectic mix of people.
Oh, it was such a unique mix. Like,
it was a great group of people.
It was a good time. Like, you know, I think it was sometimes a bit much that we all lived kind of like very close together. And
did you only have each other to like pal around with, and then it's like work and hang out? It's like,
yeah,
all right,
work, hang out, and then people, you know, static off, you know, and then come back together, and it was a good time though overall. Like,
well, you're all thrown into a fishbowl. It's very hard to judge somebody based on things that come out of projects like that, because you haven't lived in their shoes in that life. So, and you were all young,
and we're all from different backgrounds, everything.
And,
it was a crazy experience, and I love it because I got to experience, you know, other people's lifestyles. Now I have friends in different places, you know. I come here and boom, what do you know, Marcus just so happens to be here. So, you know, it was a great experience, and it's an experience that's going to last for a long time on top of that.
Now, what did you like best about playing TJ?
Playing TJ? I love that he was a track star. Yeah. Honestly, I wanted to really get more into that.
Living vicariously through him?
Yeah, because like, oh man, when I was in high school, I wish I had listened to my sports performance teacher, because she always was like, you should be a track runner. You run so fast or whatever. You know, you have it. She basically always told me, and like it was just so funny that TJ was a track star, because I was like, oh,
so in a roundabout way, you were a track star. So
exactly.
Kind of came back full circle.
It definitely came through, and I like that he was the hero. I like that, like, you know, he could have just been like, oh my gosh, I'm out, you know, or oh my gosh, call an ambulance, I'm out, you know, never talk to her again or whatever. But nah, he was like, holy crap, I gotta grab this girl, I gotta take her somewhere where like she can get help like right now. He didn't put her in the car. No, he grabbed her and ran, you know, like
right.
That's a hero.
What I liked about the show was that everybody was from a different background,
right?
And you couldn't say, oh, there's a quote unquote typical young leading man, there's this actress. It was a great mixture of people that were breaking stereotypes.
Chambers was raw. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, like I don't know how to say it properly. It wasn't supposed to be some stuck-up show where everybody's caked with makeup, you know, everything's perfect all the time. No, it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be a show that people, you know, from everywhere can look at it and be like something in there is relatable, you know?
Not to mention the scary-ass supernatural shit that was going on in that show.
Oh, yeah.
That show was nuts.
Oh, man.
It was like scary, crazy, like creepy. Not like decapitated blood.
No, it was just like oh, why? You know?
Oh,
why?
There were many times like I was like, oh God, why'd I watch that? Why'd I watch that?
Yeah, no, I remember watching a couple episodes, and I was like sitting there like, oh, you scare me. If I ever met you, you'd scare me.
Yeah, you could get dismembered in front of me all day, every day. And it wouldn't, like, I know that's fake, but like creepy shit like that is not
the
cool.
Reality kind of, you know.
Yeah,
because
I mean? You don't know, like, what's real, what's not real. Can this actually happen?
Yeah, no, that's.
So you booked this role. You're a series regular on a brand new Netflix show. Yeah. Obviously, Netflix is a reputable, great place to work, upcoming network with so many great projects in the can. And unfortunately, they pulled the plug after a year.
That's fine.
Which was
it happens, you know.
Yeah. What were some of the feelings? Obviously, you're fine with it,
right?
You'd like to have the job, obviously.
Of course.
But there's a Netflix PR person honking, so he stops talking.
Hello.
Bleep. No, in all seriousness, you get this series regular role. You're riding the wave. You're navigating this. And then you hear it's only going to run for one season. What were the feelings that you were having, and did you find out while it was still airing? I know they drop it all at one time. Yeah. So had you known prior, or they were giving it some time to like germinate?
They gave it some time to resonate. Yeah. They gave it a while to they've given it longer for other shows to, you know, kind of sit and see where it goes and whatnot. And that's where it kind of bothers me a little bit, was because I felt like they could have gave it more time. You know, people are still watching it to this day, you know? Yeah. And
like on Netflix, you have to find a show.
Yeah.
So it's hard when a new show premieres.
Right.
And then tries to find an audience. And I don't know if that's a good thing that they drop everything all at one time.
Yeah.
As opposed to you having a real season of, oh, my friend told me about this show. Why don't you catch it next week it was on, and then maybe you can go back and watch the first episode.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's people trying to get used to the new format of television.
Yeah, and I say it's fine, because like, I mean, at the point that they had canceled it, I had kind of already had the feeling. I was like, you know, I think if they were going to keep it going though, they would have said something already. So they kind of took not enough time, but at the same time,
they knew
the point was already given at the point that I had known. Like, I was just like, okay, this is probably not a thing. It's time to start looking for other roles, because I was on a contract, right? So you know how all that goes.
Oh, of course, yeah. You can't look for work until they cut you.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the one thing that I would say I wasn't fine with. I was kind of like, oh,
well, because you're limited on what you do.
I would have loved to do this other show, but you know.
But the handcuffs.
Yeah.
You're what kind of projects are you going out for now that you've done the, like, I don't know, I guess supernatural. Yeah, I guess it was kind of supernatural.
Yeah, my character, you know, he was
grounded in normalcy though.
Yeah, like he was grounded, but you know, we didn't get to dive too much into his background at all ever, you know, and neither, same with some of the other characters. We didn't really get to know anything too much about them, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And we all had kind of like, as you would, if you would say, in the same like category, like same size role, you know. It was,
well, it's definitely an ensemble cast.
Yeah. Oh man, it was good. Like,
yeah.
I can't wait to see Marcus tomorrow. Actually, good times. Good times.
Yeah. We got to reminisce. I mean, it was a big chunk of your life that you were part of a show.
It's almost a year, basically, by the time we were done.
Yeah, and then you're thrown into the press aspect of it.
Yeah.
Which you were all relatively new.
Right.
And it's just like, oh wow, wait,
I think
we got to do all this stuff.
I think Uma, Tony, and Nick would have been the most experienced out of the whole bunch.
I meant of the younger cast.
Out of the younger cast.
Uma Thurman's been around.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure she's good with the media.
Yeah. By then, you'd have to be.
Yeah. Did having someone like Uma and also Tony, did they kind of take you under their wing, being that you were all new, or did you didn't really share that many scenes with them?
We didn't share a single scene actually.
Oh, really?
She
even Tony?
I think it was more or less Siobhan and Nick, because they always had scenes together, right? So it kind of makes more sense for them to all kind of click together. Whereas me, it was more or less just me and the rest of the youth kind of cast. We all kind of stuck together. So
yeah, that's true. I wasn't sure if there was an episode where you actually went to the house to pick her up at one point.
Yeah, we did, and then but
they weren't actually there.
No, that's when we
the
crept
magic
in.
Of television.
Yeah, that's when we crept in.
Uma Thurman, she was on my show.
Yeah. I know. What? No, actually, we met. She's actually very sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so the show goes away, and you're back out into the grind of things, auditioning, and were you starting to build a little bit of momentum though because of the project?
Like, yeah, I've been having lots of people, you know, kind of getting at me, a lot of photographers and whatnot. That's really cool. I got actually offered to do a Comic-Con coming up in March, I think.
That's awesome.
I've had some schools reach out to me and whatnot, and that's something that I really would like to do. I'd like to start.
What kind of schools?
Like drama classes and whatnot.
Really? That's great.
I would really love to go do that, because I feel like sometimes people get, like, I guess you could say, demotivated, like just because, you know, they're in school, they don't know what to do after, right? So you know, I feel like I could give them some tips of what they can do to kind of get into it.
Yeah. And you have the experience now of being on a major show like that.
Right.
So you almost got thrown into it kind of backwards.
Yeah.
Instead of going to school and like, oh yeah, I booked a part on a great show, it's like, oh, I did the great show already. Now I'm going to try and like work backwards almost.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, it's pretty cool too. Like, I wasn't expecting to be booking another show right after, and that was a blessing as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, the contract got cut, and I was like, oh, damn. I wanted, like, I actually did want season 2. I wanted to dive more into TJ's life, but, you know, here I am now. I get to portray someone else. So it's the beauty.
Awesome.
It's the different beauty in it.
So talk about that. Talk about your new project.
Oh, okay. I did, actually, right after Chambers, I did The Wendigo. It's not out yet. Some things got jumpy with production. Yeah. But it's coming. It's a work in progress right now. I got to...
Things happen with movies all the time.
Yeah, and I had to basically, not a sweetheart. My character was actually a drug dealer in that one.
Interesting.
So yeah, and he meets his end at some point. I won't say anything.
Interesting. Oh yeah. Oh, I feel like that's a spoiler.
Nah, but he definitely meets his end. You know right off the bat. You're like, oh, that guy's an asshole. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
But
it's one of those stories where you know the assholes don't make it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just did. I worked on The Trickster for CBC. I can't really say too much after that.
Yeah, no,
my character's name is Dylan, though.
And when will that be out?
It'll be out, I'm not sure, actually. I'd probably say in 2020 at some point, later on in 2020.
Are you excited for that new project
to come out?
And how different is your character from TJ, without going too far into it?
He's a jerk.
Oh, another jerk. So you got miscast the first time. You played the asshole really well, and the scumbags, it seems
exactly.
Yeah, no, terrible word, not a good word.
No, I got you. They wanted me as a sweetheart, then they wanted me as the drug dealer, now they want me as the bully. So, you know,
interesting.
It's cool. I like it. I don't want to be typecast into anything.
No, that's the last
I want to
thing
expand.
an actor wants.
I want to do everything, man. Like, everything.
Have you found that you've had a fight for the good guy roles based on that you have long hair, or that you're too tall, or that you're this or you're that?
Yes.
Acting is a hard, like,
it's cutthroat, man.
because you're being judged on
I could
every
either
little
be
thing about your
I could be a
appearance.
bit too old, I could be too big, I could have, you know, too much hair, I could have too much facial hair.
Yeah.
You know, it could be any of these factors why I do or don't get a role. And it makes sense to me. Like, I feel a lot of people get kind of like hurt that they didn't get something, and in my eyes it's kind of like, you know, you see who did get it or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what they were looking for, and it makes sense, right?
Well, you're asking somebody to have a thick skin,
Right.
about something that a normal person not in the acting industry would not have a thick skin about.
It would hurt, like,
Yeah,
and it does hurt. Don't get me wrong, it
it's
hurts.
such a strange profession to be in.
Right.
And then you have people looking up to you, and you have people running up to you and like, oh my God, Griffin, can I get a picture?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to navigate. So when you see that these younger actors get involved in like drinking and doing things they shouldn't,
Right.
you also have people who are pushing them towards it because they don't want to say no, all the yes people. So it's got to be a real difficult...
Yeah, there's lots of yes men out there.
Yeah, it's got to be a real difficult world to navigate.
It is. Like, I mean, I'll be with my friends, you know, and I know when it's like time to go.
Yeah.
You know, because like, just I can't keep up with that lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
It was fun when I was a teenager,
Right,
you know,
right.
but as I'm getting older, it's getting old. I kind of would prefer to just sit at home, have a beer
Right.
or whatever it may be, and just relax, you know, watch a movie, hang out with my honey, whatever it may be. Like,
Did you have people come out of the woodwork when you booked chambers like, oh man, remember when we went to high school and that one day we went for pizza and it's like, oh, like, can I come to the premiere?
Goodness, yes,
Yeah.
lots of that.
You love that, right? Isn't that great? When you
It's good, but at the same
no,
time,
no, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's like if you didn't like me then, like, don't come around now that things are going well
yeah,
for me.
but it's good in the sense it's kind of like, I remember you.
Yeah.
You know, I remember you, and just because I did something like that doesn't mean they can look at me any different. I'm still the same dude. You know, everything.
I mean more of a selfish on their part, like,
Yeah.
oh, now you're coming
it's so.
around.
Oh yeah,
It's
is
like all of a
super
sudden, like,
selfish.
I got like 50 friends when the other day only one person went right.
Yeah, but I keep my circle small.
You should.
I
Yeah, you
have
got to.
I have a select few friends, probably about 8 or 9, and I keep it like that.
It's got to be hard to let people into that circle because you got to question motivation and, like, does this person want something else from me? It's a tricky ball game.
But it also isn't, because I try my best to, like, not let anyone too close to me, like, unless like we have a mutual or something like that. I don't really think I have a reason to want to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool. At least, like, I'm not to the point where like random people all the time know me. Like, I do get recognized a fair bit, but not too as bad as it could be. Like,
cool.
I've seen some of the stuff some big celebrities deal with.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When we come back, we will talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we had to move a little bit. We got to get some more light on this young man.
We're back.
Now the real questions are coming.
All right, let's do this.
So we were talking about seeing the pressures that other younger actors go through and that kind of thing. What are some steps that you've taken to not fall into that same trap? And how easy is it to take those steps when you have people, oh, you're on this Netflix show, you can do whatever you want, there's no consequences.
Right.
But in actuality, there's just as real consequences as any other profession.
There's so many
if not
consequences. Yeah, like, you also got to worry about, you know, everybody who sees you and what you do, you know, like your fans or even just random people, but they know about you. Those are your bread and butter, and they can either slab it on, or they can just put it back in the fridge, you know? So, like, that's why you got to be careful. Like, when your friends say, oh, let's go do this, say go out for the night, you gotta be really careful, man. You don't know
who's gonna recognize you.
You don't know who's gonna recognize you. You don't know who's there. You don't know, like, what you could get into. You know, mistakes happen.
Now you have these 2 projects coming out.
Right.
How exciting is that for you to be coming off of the show being let go, or, you know, but yet you have stuff that's still coming up for you, and you got stuff to look forward to. A lot of times it doesn't happen right off the jump.
It's a blessing, because I could have just lost all momentum, and, you know, I could be just sitting there doing nothing. Well, I wouldn't be doing nothing. I actually I work at a moving company right now too, so
everybody needs a survival job.
You do, and I mean, maybe you might get big enough that you don't have to have a real job, but it's still, if you're the type that will do that, then that's a different value. You know?
And here I am thinking, when you said big enough, I thought you meant muscular enough. I thought you were going to say, now I don't have to go to the gym because I'm lifting people's pianos.
That is very true. That's very true. Yes.
See, you're making money, you're getting your workout, you don't even need a gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw those high places.
It's a plus though, like, and I think.
And it grounds you too.
Exactly, because a lot of people, like I had one of my good friends, he's a hip hop artist as well. He said, you know, thanks for staying humble. You know, because a lot of people, they get big-headed, you know, their feet leave the ground, they start flying up. You know, I keep my head in the sky and keep my feet on the ground. That's the best way to live.
Because you know what, when you're up there, you're going to come down eventually.
Oh yeah.
You're never going to stay up there forever.
Oh no.
Very few and far between.
You'll go up, fall, you might go up again, you know, but
you're still fall. You're going to see those same people when you're falling.
Yeah.
You better hope that you treated them the right way.
Yeah, because they'll remember that too. They'll always remember that. Like, you know, like the same thing we were talking about, like, oh hey, remember when we, you know, same thing, but reverse. It could reverse, you know, it could be like, oh.
It's almost like you have to treat them kindly, because who knows, they could be a casting director one day that you walk in, and they're like, oh,
imagine
I remember you said we weren't even tight or anything. Nah, yeah, well, we'll see you for that project. Let's see how good you do.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta be kind to everybody, even if you're not.
Treat people the way you want to be
exactly treated. Even if you don't like each other or whatever it is, you know, every time you see them, be like, hey, how's it going? And then just scoot.
Being cordial.
Get out of there. Exactly.
Is always a good look.
Exactly. Cordial, professional, whatever you want to call it. There's a line. We're talking about lots of line crossing tonight.
We're getting deep here.
Don't cross the line.
Yeah,
you know,
any lines.
Any lines. No lines. Don't cross them. Don't do it.
Now, what kind of parts would you like to go out for and be cast in? Is there a certain thing that you haven't been looked at for any number of reasons?
I feel like I really want to do like a superhero flick or something like that, or even be like a super villain. You know, I want to do something out of my box, something I haven't done yet. You know,
You better start moving more pianos.
It's a goal. No, exactly. I want to do something crazy. Hey, I think I could be like Elastic Man right now.
Yeah, you're real covered up. So it's like, I'm making that judgment based on your hands.
Hey, man. Yeah. No, I got the
hands are good.
You skinny as a rifle. Skinny as a rifle. Yeah, I got superhero hands.
There you go.
Power Rangers. Yeah.
There's a lot of Power Rangers floating around the con. So.
Yeah. No, exactly.
What superpower would you want? Or is there an established superhero you'd like to play? Because you're CWH still.
I probably want like telekinesis or something like that. But actually, like, if I were to like do any superhero role, I was actually like really thinking Power Rangers. Like literally, that was one of the ones, because someone actually posted something saying like, oh, this guy would be perfect for the Green Power Ranger, and I was like, yeah, that's me.
There you go. Start a campaign, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll hashtag Green Power Ranger in this interview.
Thank you. Green Power Ranger,
Saban.
this guy, him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Saban can be like the Pink Power Ranger.
I'll just put your Power Ranger face on. We won't even see it.
Yeah. It'll just be my body and then a Power Ranger head.
Now, you mentioned rapping and hip hop. Do you have any interest in writing either music or writing projects to act in, or for other of your friends to act in? Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, that's like, when it comes down to the music thing, I write and then I kind of just let it sit most of the time. You know, it kind of just, I have a build up, like it's an arsenal almost of songs that I haven't even touched, or like I recorded, didn't even look at again afterwards.
What do you tap into when you're writing versus what do you tap into when you're acting? Is it two separate things?
Two way different things. I tap into the lows, the evils, the good, the bad, good, bad, ugly, I guess you could say, when I'm rapping. But, you know, when I'm acting, I just kind of, I guess you could say, acting, I go towards here. Rapping, I go towards here. Because, like, I like to play with my words, you know, a lot. I like to try to make, like, 4 rhymes in one little one bar, right? Like, I want to do as much as I can with it, so I got to use more of my brain. Whereas acting, it kind of just, like, happens, you know? You're in there, you're not, I don't go in, like, okay, like, no, I just get there, I go, maybe I talk a little different, or, you know, maybe he has a lean when he walks, or, you know, that's the type of things I think about when I'm acting. But when I'm rapping, I'm just me, simply playing out, you know.
Is there something that you tap into and have had to tap into, something to get you into an emotional headspace for a project?
Yeah.
And how difficult was that for you to...
It's tough.
To take those emotions, almost manipulate them to fit what you're doing, and then get out of your head real quick so you don't slide into where you were to begin with.
Tough. I like, sometimes it's actually really hard for me, because that one scene in Chambers when I carried her to the laundromat, I couldn't go to sleep till like 10 in the morning afterwards. I had to kind of like imagine someone I cared about was dying, you know, and it kind of...
It's a tough thing to do.
It messed me up a little bit, and it was like, it's almost hard to like fake cry and whatnot, because it's like, I can't even like think about that too much, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, in one scene in another show, the other show, when I don't want to say how I died, but I die. Yeah. And I got up after everything, you know, wrapped, whatever. I get up and I kind of just like, I was depressed. Like,
did you scare the shit out of yourself that you had to play yourself dying?
Yeah.
And like take yourself out of, okay, I, Griffin, am not dying.
Yeah.
But I have to be scared enough that I'm dying.
Yeah, no, and it was like, it was hard, because at first, one of the only emotions I could pull out was anger. So I used that mostly, but the director wanted me to kind of, you know, play like, I got fear in my heart too, you know, and like, so I kind of just took like,
okay, yeah, we don't go too much.
I was like,
afterwards. Well, because then you got to take a breath when you get up, and it's like, fuck, that was terrifying.
I got up and I went and sat in my trailer for like a good 30 minutes. Didn't say anything to anyone. Like,
what do you do to combat that though? To get out of your head for stuff like that?
Listen to music. Yeah, I listen to music. You know, I kind of just tell myself that wasn't you. You know, that like chill. You're good, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, relax, stop thinking about it, you know, like...
How do you stay away from the trappings of being a young actor maneuvering Hollywood in terms of social media and, oh, well, this cast member got this many likes and I only got this many, or I'm overdoing what they're getting, I'm way farther, I must be better than them. Like, it's a very tricky aspect now that social media is involved. Good one. And that's in everybody's, you know, everybody's got their fake Facebook life, their fake Instagram life.
Oh, yeah. That one, it's tough, because I've even posted things a few times, like on my story or whatever, and my manager will be like, no, you know, you can't, you just can't. And I understand, you know.
It's sad, because you almost have to have a Griffin Facebook, and an actor Griffin Facebook.
I really do. I have my Griffin, and then I have the actor, you know what I mean? And I have the rapper, and I have the model, but the model and the actor kind of go together hand in hand, because like I was saying earlier, it's an act itself, right? So yeah, like, I mean, it's cool. Like, I wish that, you know, I feel like I'm really, like, I like to have some laughs and, you know, do my thing. I wish other people could, like, everybody could kind of join in, have my sense of humor and everything, but you know, not everybody thinks the same.
You got to be so afraid of offending somebody. Yeah. And like, what you think is funny, somebody might take a different way.
Right.
If you make a political comment, like, it could set people into the stratosphere.
And that's why I just don't.
Sensitive.
I just stay away from it. I keep it all to myself, honestly. Majority of things I have an opinion about, but I keep the opinion in here.
It's like, you got to risk not only alienating family based on certain opinions you have of whatever topic, but then you have a whole subset of a quote unquote family that isn't your family,
from all over the planet.
Like, oh man, Griffin's so cool on the show, I love him, I want to be him, look how cool he is, he's hip, he's this, he's that. Oh wait, he hates this person? I'm not going to watch his projects, and it's like, it's really tricky to navigate. It's like, it's almost like you have to hide part of yourself.
You do and you don't, because there's always going to be someone that'll
the world's coming to an end. Wrap it up. I don't know if that's a good sign.
See you guys later.
Hey.
See you guys later.
It's Armageddon, and this was our last thing we're doing.
Tune in next time.
We could have at least had some food if we were going to die.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad I got a burger. But wait, where were we?
We were talking about the trappings of like social media and putting out yourself versus of who you can put out.
Yeah, I'd say like, Yeah, that noise just distracted us so
Yeah,
bad.
We had such a good flow going.
Yeah.
That had
It's
better.
that you have to kind of hide part of yourself,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's always going to be someone out there who appreciates you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I do have a few people who are fans, you know, and they appreciate me no matter what I've said or posted. You know, I've had a couple slip-ups, you know, and people will notice.
And everybody does.
You see your followers go down. And, you know, or maybe you see your followers go up, and like you were talking about, like outdoing somebody or somebody outdoing you. I kind of see it as a way, like, respect those in front of you and praise those behind you.
Right.
That's what I always say about it, you know, because the people in front of you, you know, make you or break you, so respect them. You know, and the people behind you, you got to praise them because you were there too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, like, I find it super important to just try your best to always be yourself. Try not to hide too much stuff on your social media, but also censor it, because not everyone's going to appreciate you for who you are.
And I don't think actors had that sort of pressure even 5 years ago.
No.
Based on like things that are happening politically.
Twitter.
Based on things that people tweet things, they sit behind a
Instagram.
keyboard and they're absolutely the ugliest, most soulless creatures that exist because they don't have to say it to your face.
No. And
like
they just,
when you post something,
keyboard warrior.
Yeah, it's like almost like if you're going to post something, you better be damn well willing to say that right to that person's face.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you're just being shady and just a shitty human.
Yeah. And that's how it goes. Like, but a lot of people are shady and shitty humans.
But I found that's happening a lot more with Facebook.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of, I don't even know that they're trolls. They could be like Russian hacks. They could be anybody. But they'll say these awful, awful things. Would you say that to somebody if you were right in front of them? Even in I'm a gay male.
Right.
The things that I read online about all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's like, would you walk up to somebody and say that? No, you wouldn't.
I don't think they would.
You would
no.
hold the door for that person. Because you would have no idea.
Right.
But because you're a keyboard warrior now, you're going to sit there and say whatever you want and let all the ugliness flow, and then rile that other person up, and then you get going,
and then you get
really
that reaction.
You want to get
looking.
that fight because you're not man enough to do it in person.
People want that reaction though, because then that's kind of their weapon against you. You know, and that weapon.
And they could say, "Oh, look what he said."
It's so powerful, man.
And
they'll get you.
Bad.
And if you're not careful, they'll get you. So like that's why like people say something on the internet, and you know, I'm just like, that's cute.
Yeah.
Scroll past, or you know, my manager will delete it.
It's like you really gotta like bite. It's very hard to do even as a non-actor. I mean, you're a human being first. Regardless of your career.
I've been told
it's very hard as a human to do it.
Yeah, I got told by my manager, actually. She was like, I actually got rid of a couple comments. You know, they were kind of either hateful. I think one was hateful, and then the other one was very sexual. And it was just kind of like...
Towards you or
towards me. Yeah, and it was like, she was just like, I didn't even want to tell you. I just kind of deleted them. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's
like,
the thing. Because you're an actor and you have a public profile. It's the same thing as a woman getting catcalled on the street. It's not appropriate.
It is. It's not appropriate at all. Like, I actually, one of my friends, he was actually doing that, I think about a month ago, and I was like, yo, dude, not cool. Like, you know, get your ass back in the car. You know, it's not cool, man. Like, you think about it. Like, I had actually some women come up to me, and they were, you know, they were all over me, but it was like, like I'm not a toy, you guys. You know, I'm a human. I'm not an item.
Right.
You know, and it's weird for me to say that because, you know, everyone has a stereotype that it's just women. You know, but it's not. It's both ways. Like I got sexualized.
I feel like men don't really talk about it.
No, and it's hard to talk about it because I got sexualized in chambers, right? I got sexualized pretty hard, and you know, I feel like some people think when they come up to me, I'm just kind of like a doll, you know, and I'm like, relax, you're beautiful, but you know, I'm Griffin. Nice to meet you.
Right, and
you know,
what if somebody did that to you? Like,
what if somebody
did that?
Reverse
it? What if you went up to them
and
grabbed them and were like, oh, well, you look
and
really hot.
And they would be like, oh my God, who is this creep? And I would probably go to jail or something.
It's almost because they think they know you because you're on television and you're playing a character.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a boy band and they're like, oh, well, look, they're gyrating up on stage and they look, oh, I could do whatever. It's like, I've seen some behavior that is appalling. And if that happened to one of your sisters or your brother,
it would be horrible.
You would not be cool with it. So it's like, Let's remember they're human beings.
And that's why, like, when, like I said, my buddy, he was trying to be trying to be a jerk. And I was like, nah, because he has a sister, he has a mom. You know, I'm like, dude, think about it. You know what I mean? You don't want people doing that to your family or your friends. Like, I know if somebody did that to one of our good friends, who's a girl, we would have been all like, no, you know, nobody, because that's not what you do. I'm sorry, but I hate to be the guy who says this, but it's 2019, man. You know, it's about to be 2020. It's time to start treating everybody with respect, no matter what. Man, female, you know,
no matter
man, woman, whatever it may be.
There's a respectful way to do something. If I walk up to you on the street and I don't know you, then obviously it's not even appropriate to say, "Oh, you're a handsome dude." People will be like, "What? Like what?"
No, but you can come up and be like,
come up and just like,
"Dude,
oh,
you have a magnificent pair of shoes," or "Oh, wow, your hair looks great today." You know, there's so many different ways you could do it, and you can still, you know, catcall them, but in a nice, in a nice, genuine way.
Right.
You know,
not
like,
being a pig.
Exactly. And I went up to this one woman actually, and I was like, "You have a beautiful dress," and she appreciated that, you know, and that's the type of stuff I like to do.
Because there's a way to say that's a beautiful dress, not
People's Day. Like, I walk up to anybody and be like, "Oh man, those are sweet," or "Oh, yo, nice glasses," or "You have some trippy eyes," or whatever. And I mean it in the most pure way ever. And I love it when people do the same. Like someone will come up to me and compliment something, or they'll be like, "Oh, I love your hair," and I'm like,
yes. Yeah. Or, "Griffin, that's a great watch," and you show them the watch, not, "Oh, and then I'm gonna run my hand up your sleeves." It's just like, you gotta know, you gotta know your audience, right?
Just hearing that one gave me the chills.
Now you're never gonna wear a watch again.
Yeah, exactly.
You can thank the actor's audience.
Just hide everything.
Yeah, not even your hands are showing. It'll just be your hair.
Not even anymore. No.
Yeah, the hood.
See you guys.
Thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
Of course.
I had a great time chatting with you.
Yeah, it's been
Look
fun.
forward to the new project next time you're in New York. Let's dig a little deeper into it.
We will.
All right,
we will.
Thank you.
See you guys.